afternoon, people. Hope everybody's good. So, time for a little round of fucks, I think, to be honest. I've been waiting patiently for zoubida. Seeing as she said certain things that was relevant. Now, since then, seems to be some backtracking going on and whatever. Just doing some backpedaling from what was originally said. Now, I have got some good news for zoubida. You're not actually a true Muslim. You're a BBC version of Muslim, the one that they portray Islam to be. The fact that you don't want Sharia law in the UK states that you're not a true Muslim. So any true Muslim won't separate church from state, hence why it's an ideology, not a religion. So that's why I can continue to speak out against said ideology. It's as simple as that. If it was a religion, I would have been done for hate crimes a long time ago, I'm sure. Now, apparently, some form of discussion has been going on with zoubida and the likes of, Webby it is now, isn't it? It's the same person. It's the same person. Wake Up UK, Jason Tyler, Justin Armrod, Webber. You can call it whatever you want, but it's the same name. It's the same person. Now, when you need people like Puppy Puncher to tell Webber that actually all Muslims are not brown, it's got to be quite embarrassing, to be honest. But maybe that's the limit, maybe that's the level where everybody's okay to carry on discussing shit they know nothing about. Now, I will give zoubida the same respect that I did do at the beginning of this. She has spoke out. She has said she's against terrorism, grooming gangs, and she doesn't want Sharia law in the UK. Cool, congratulations, you're not actually a real Muslim. So I invite you to leave that racist, political, rapist ideology and join humanity. That might be an idea. Now, if you do read your own book, which I suggest everybody does, seems to be a lot of misconceptions of what is and what isn't, and what is allowed and what isn't allowed, what's haram and what isn't. Just simple things like music. I know zoubida like music and whatever, but it's not allowed in Islam. This is the thing. It's very stupid things, and you can't pick. I wish you could, but you can't. You can't be selecting what you choose. The thing is, the people coming behind you that wasn't born in this country, the ones that are coming from the armpits of the world, they want the full fat Islam. They don't want your watered down version, zoubida, your BBC version, which the UK gets told Islam is. They don't want that. They want the true full form of it. So people like yourself will soon be you'll eventually be called out by your own people. Now, I imagine, seeing as certain things was put down on comments, etc. on the video that he deleted, funny enough. I put on there why it was important that we had a discussion, etc. Obviously you've been told to get back in there, even though you're in work. You seem to be in a client's house doing a live, talking all ghetto. Was you asked to jump back in there and correct whatever? Because the day after it seems to be a hell of a lot of backpedaling about why Sharia isn't really a problem, blah blah blah. Lots of backpedaling going on. So was you warned that actually you have to do that? You have to have Sharia, whatever. Have you been informed since? And that's why you've done the backpedaling and seemed quite pissed off. Excluding me from a discussion. Now, discussion's only worth having if you're going to have it with the truth, the facts and the evidence. If you're going to be thin-skinned enough to, every time somebody compares another paedophile, like Jimmy Savile, as I did, to Mohammed, well, let's have a look at things. How old was the victims of Jimmy Savile? Okay, now how old was the victim of Mohammed? Oh, but that weren't a victim because she was married to him. Can a 6-year-old consensually have sex? Can a 9-year-old consensually have sex? Whatever you got to... What, because they're married? That's not rape now, no. Right, so if it wasn't going on daily and being covered up by all the people that are supposed to deal with it and expose it and put these people in prison for the longest amount of time possible, if all that was going on, we probably would, if all this wasn't going on, we probably wouldn't need to keep bringing it up and it wouldn't be relevant. But because it is relevant. Now, there would be a massive problem in the UK if all the population, especially the young males, was holding Jimmy Savile as a code of conduct, a man to emulate as they do Muhammad. Now, when Muhammad's chopped off 200 heads in an afternoon and he's got a child bride of 6 years old, you cannot say in 2022 that that man is perfect. I'm sorry, but you can't. I couldn't actually really give a fuck about your feelings, because your feelings are really not worth anything to anybody other than yourself. So this is a bit of a mad situation really, because you've got people that are so sensitive about a 1,400-year-old fucking so-called prophet. Sorry, but should have picked a better person to be the prophet. Should have picked one that weren't fucking marrying 6-year-olds. Simple as that for me. So to speed up to where we are today, I'm sorry, but you need to fucking sort your shit out. Now, the good news is everybody seems to think, oh, the Muslims are so unified, blah blah blah, this, that and the other. They're not. Far from that. Far from that. So much division, it's unreal. And there's a section of Muslims which agree with me that Muhammad is actually a pedo. Simple as that. So, to me, there is definitely conversations to be had. It just seems that zoubida may not be the one to be having them conversations. And like I say, she's only 24. You've got to give give her a dues for what she has called out and what she has done and said. You've got to understand the pressure that she'll be under from all these followers, etc., subscribers, onlookers. A lot of this stuff gets funded. I mean, she says she's not doing the dour stuff. It's not her strength. It doesn't stop her trying for all that time, does it? I know this dour stuff comes with payments usually. Now, when you have done all this stuff for all the time that you've done it, yeah, you can say I've changed, I've done this, I've done that, I've realised this is not my strength, whatever, but you've still done all these things. Now, if it's for a book that you don't actually genuinely understand, or maybe you've not even read, because it seems that way, to be honest, maybe that's where you need to start. Because to me, you cannot defend something that you don't know fully about. Or you could, but it'd be a stupid thing to do. Let's put it that way. Now, if you understand the book, and you've read it all, and you understand it, and you understand the history of it, you've got to understand, or you will understand, that it is relevant to this day, and you've still got, all this time after, people emulating that one man. Now, just imagine that if we had 1.6 billion people emulating somebody like Jim Savile, or worse. Would that be a good situation? These are the things you've got to look at. These are the things that are important, and if you can't acknowledge that, the conversation is not to be had with you. If you can't have it openly and honestly. Now, loads of things through in the comment section. Oh, what about Mary? 12 years old, blah blah blah, whatever. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Simple as that. I couldn't give a fuck what colour, what race, whatever. Sex with a child is wrong. It doesn't matter whether it's today, yesterday, or 1400 fucking years ago. Wrong is wrong. It's as simple as that. Now, for those that can't get their head around that, I feel genuinely sorry for you. I do genuinely feel sorry for you. But that won't stop me pointing out the obvious, that most people see this shit as vile shit, and we'll point it out, and proudly point it out. Now, if there is talks to be had, you don't have to include me. All people have to do is do a little bit of fact checking and pull zoubida on the words that she said. Has she changed her mind now? Does she want a Sharia in the UK? She didn't for the last few months. All of a sudden, now it's not an issue. I'll tell you what, I'll do a video on the reasons I believe Sharia shouldn't be here. I'll do that as a separate video. And we'll go from there. To me, let's break it down for the basics of things. It's unlawful to have another law system alongside ours. Simple as that. People are supposed to be treated the same, equally. That's why people come here, so they can have all the freedoms equally and not have anybody over anybody for any reason, any cult or any ideology. Simple as that. Simple as that. Now, that's the reason mainly that I kind of stopped with a lot of the so-called patriots and went to the black community, because at the end of the day, now, once you awoken the black community to what Islam actually is to them, we've seen it all unfold in Speaker's Corner. It's still unfolding now. I did tell people at the time, all that time ago. There's only one real fight we're being involved in, and that's the fight for the black community. So to me it's a very mixed bag at the moment. It could go very either way. People have seen Black Lives Matter rise and fall because it was built on Billy bullshit. So it's a mixed bag. Now, the amount of decent people that got behind BLM was fucking unbelievable. Thing is, people will get behind a cause that sounds good, looks good, and seems genuine. The problem is, it's so easy for these things to pop up, made of rubbish, agenda-driven nonsense, and people just fall for it. Nobody looks into it, what they're actually supporting. And to me, that's the biggest problem. I've said for a long time, there needs to be one pool of information for everybody, whether it's people been around years or people been around a few minutes that have just woke up. So why there isn't, I don't really understand at this point in time. Now, to me, so much shit pushed and fucking nobody takes time to look at things. How many things has been pushed lately in the last few years that loads of people have fell for? Look at that King's flag fraud shite Tracy Blackwell was pushing. Did she ever do a video and come out and say, oh, sorry I've misled everyone and filled in with shit, and chance the veterans being put in prison for the rest of their lives or shot dead, and all them people that got scammed? She didn't come out and do a video about that. She's come out one and done one last night on this the clown she was supporting and pushing for fucking years or whatever. Steve Wild, was it? Steve Wild. Now, when you've seen all these things unfold for yourself, and the amount of people that have been called out around that situation, as opposed to the ones that have been kept quiet about, still now to this day, Tracy Blackwell says, oh, I'm not sure if Andy Devine's a scammer. Well, the rest of the world is Tracy, so you just look like a fucking bigger mental patient than you do usually. So, there's that. Now, Tracy's pushing some other shit. You'll see in the background. I'm not going to say too much at this moment in time. There will be a live or a video to come, I imagine. And we'll go from there on that one, I guess. So, I for one still believe that there needs to be a common pool of information so people can actually see things before they enter into things, and maybe start being a bit fucking selective as to what they do follow or don't follow. So it's one of them things, you can only do what you can do. People will listen or they won't listen, it's totally up to them. These things, in my opinion, anything can be sorted, anything can be looked at, anything can be rectified, but people need to be open and honest. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now, for me, CMW, Gary Clark, Nathan Kirkton are the only three lawful solution, which we've all got. Doesn't matter what colour you are, doesn't matter what race you are. It's for everybody, and it's for free. Now, in my opinion, that's why a lot of the bigger groups, the ones with the idols and stuff, and the PayPal account, GoFundMe, whatever, me.com, don't get involved because it's free. You've got nothing to make from it, nothing to earn, nothing they can subtract from it, which is sad. Now, CMW, previously to that, Pendragons, I've done the utmost in this so-called movement, the utmost for free, and never asked anybody for a penny. So to me, that's why I've kind of tried to support them where I can and whatever, because to me it's the only lawful solution we've got. If we had others, I'd pursue them, but I genuinely don't see them. Now, what's the alternative? Should we not point out the lawful solutions? Have we got other means of dealing with these things? Are they the roads you've got to go down? To me, I want to sort the problems out and not cause more problems doing so. So let's just have a look up things or whatever. You've got Tommy now waking the population up to all the cover-ups that have gone on. All the Muslim rape gangs, cases being collapsed for cash, etc. So what do you think? What do you think is the reaction going to be from the public? What do you think the population is going to do? You'll have a large percent that sit back and do nothing, as they did, as they was exposed in the 80s. And that weren't by Tommy, was it? It weren't by Mark Collette, it weren't by Jada Franson, it weren't by Paul. So that was the siege. Now, to me, you can have, like any group of people from any country that just finds out what they're finding out. You can have a percentage of angry people. So let's say you have 10% of the country gets angry but has no lawful solution. So what would you expect to come from that? Anything good? Oh, lots of bad shit. The Muslims are not the only ones that can be terrorists. Anyone can do that shit. It comes down to an ideology spurring one group on to do so. It's as simple as that for me. Yeah. So, for me, when you realise it's the ideology that's spurring these things on, you need to speak about the ideology. It's as simple as that, openly and honestly. And if you can do that, we can figure out the problems. And when you figure out the problems, you can figure out the solutions. Now, I don't want my kids to grow up in some fucking violent turmoil situation more than it is now. I think it's bad enough as it is at this moment in time. Me personally, I think there's enough shit going on. I think it's violent enough for our kids, for our future generations growing up. I think we could do with less problems, not more. even. No, I don't even have to. It's one of them. I didn't join this movement. I didn't find this movement. This movement found me. I've said this before. It was the actions of the MP, police, that brought my attention to the cover-up side of things. To me, a child rapist is a child rapist. I don't care what fucking flavour it is. It makes no difference to me. The act of child rape, child grooming, whatever, is the issue for me, not the colour of the person or the ideology that they follow. If it's the ideology that's driven it, then that's a different scenario. Now, you can point me at any other ideology if you can show me something that commands people to commit such sick acts. Anyone else that has been made victorious through terrorism, if you can do that, we can have that discussion. But if you can't, and we have to address the one that is, in my opinion,